Hello guys, Tristan here back with another video, and today we're taking another look at DDDs, my favorite deck of all time. Today I'm going to be going over a different format of DDs I like to call DD Floodgate, or Floodgate DDD, whatever you like to call it. But this deck has a few more traps in it than a typical DD profile, and I think that it would work pretty well in this format. I really do love it. It's great going first, and I got some awesome side deck cards for going second in case that doesn't work. So without further ado, as a standard with DDs, 3 copies of DD Savant Kepler, 3 copies of DD Savant Copernicus, 3 copies of DD Griffin, 3 copies of DD Swirl Slime. Those are your 3 ofs. Very, very good. You got your 2 normal summons, your special summon, which again, Pendulum Summon effect and Summon from Graveyard effect are both incredibly powerful, and of course, your fusion. And then of course for the 2 ofs, we got 2 DD Orthros. Was thinking of bumping it up to 3, but I feel like you'd brick a lot if you had 3. 2 is pretty good since you searched them a lot. For the 1 ofs, 1 copy of Ragnarok, 1 copy of King Rage, 1 Thomas, 1 Cerberus, and then for the fusion 1 ofs, Necroslime, Vice Typhon, and Lamia. And then to finish off the monsters, 3 Ash, because Ash is the best card in this format right now. That's it for the monsters. For the spells, we're only playing a few spells in this deck anyway, so card you'll see a bit later works pretty well in this deck. You got 3 Gate as usual, 1 Swamp King, 1 Patent License, and then 3 Puree. That's it for the spells. Puree to search your Copernicus or your Kepler, depending on what you already have. And then for the traps, we have 1 copy of Headhunt and 1 copy of Eternal Darkness. I was even considering siding out the Eternal Darkness, especially against some decks that it really doesn't work against. Of course, you got your 3 Summon Limit and your 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance for the Floodgate portion of this deck. Anti-Spell Fragrance really isn't a big deal because you only play a few spells, and it's just really good at stumping decks like Runic and Sky Strikers and some other really spell-oriented decks. And it doesn't really affect this deck very much because, again, very few spells, and a lot of the spells you have are continuous, or spells that you would activate at the start of the duel, if you're going first especially. So, and then of course 3 Summon Limit. Summon Limit you can negate with your own Siegfried to be able to continue summoning on your own turn, and even the same if you wanted to do with Spell Fragrance, you can negate it with your Siegfried to allow yourself to play around your own traps. And I think that's really, really cool that you can do that and then have it still work during your opponent's turn. So that's the main deck. Let's go into the extra deck. Now for the extra deck, starting off with the fusions, we have our High King Chungus and our 2 Baby Chungus. And of course, I have the Oracle King D'Arc. Now before I was playing Caesar King Ragnarok in the main deck, but I realized that is more of a going second card anyway. So having this card is actually good for follow-up. Or if you have an end board that you could use an extra fusion, you could summon this out in defense or something like that. It's an extra body, and if you have it around during your next turn, you gain life points instead of losing them, especially since you have Puree, which pay half, which is pretty big cost, especially for a deck that already does burn damage to yourself. So Oracle King D'Arc, or you could summon Arc off of your Gilgamesh if you really want to. Again, it's just recursion for next turn, and it's just an overall better choice instead of the Caesar Ragnarok. And if you happen to be lucky and you have your Lamia and you haven't been able to go for Siegfried, this is just another way to go into your Siegfried. Which, speaking of which, right here, Christian Siegfried, a really, really good card in this deck. For the Xyz, we got our Kali Yuga and our 2 Machinex. Of course, we have our Wave King Caesar, our Marksman King Tell, and our Little Caesar. And of course, we have our Zeus. Zeus is very important, even if it's not exactly going first card. Very important to have no matter what. And of course, your 3 copies of Gilgamesh. That is it for the main extra deck. Now let's go into the side deck. I'm going to start with 1 Vice King Requiem. Now this card is a going second side-in card. The reason I play this card is because of the Super Doom Kings, which yes, I am definitely playing. They're very, very good. And you don't even have to play them going second. You can play them going first if you want. It's just a matter of what kind of board you're wanting to set up. Of course, you got your 3 Nibiru, because great going second card. You got your 3 Dark Ruler No More, another great going second card. And just as an extra, because sometimes it can be hard to get all these fusions out, a second Swamp King. Trust me, this is definitely required. And of course, 3 Evenly Matched, another great going second card. Then we got our Super Doom King Armageddon, our Super Bright King Armageddon, and our Super Purple King Armageddon. And of course, Caesar Ragnarok, because great for attacking over some shit. Very, very good against Blackwings. Not that I've ever been able to use it against Blackwings. But yes, this is the side deck. This is a great deck, and I'm now going to show you guys the test hand segment of this video. Let's get to it. Here's a test hand. I'm playing against a bot. So first thing we can see is we have our Kepler, our Copernicus, our Summon Limit, our Gate, and our King Rage. Now there's a way we can get the King Rage on field without using a Gilgamesh's effect, even though it's in our hand. So you'll see exactly how I'm going to deal with that in a little bit. But the very first thing we can do is activate our Gate and use our Gate's effect to search out Griffin. Now, I was going to normal summon Kepler, but we have our Gate, so we don't need to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to normal summon the Copernicus and then activate Copernicus effect. We're going to dump Vice Typhon into the grave. Then we're going to activate Griffin's effect, special summon itself, and we're going to link off into the Gilgamesh. Now, before I activate Gilgamesh's effect, here's what I want to explain. I chose the Vice Typhon instead of a Swirl Slime because I'll be summoning out the Kepler the normal way, so don't worry about it. We're going to activate Gilgamesh effect. We're going to step scale with scale 3 Orthros since we don't have our King Rage in the deck, and our scale 6 Cerberus. Boom, just like that. Here we're going to Pendulum Summon out our 2 titular monsters. We're then going to activate Griffin's effect. We're going to discard the Kepler to draw 1. We got another Griffin. Not a big deal. But now we can activate Vice Typhon's effect since we have 2 DDs in the grave. We can go into our High King Genghis. Then we're going to overlay these 2 into our Caesar. Rank it up into a King Tell. And then activate its effect. Targeting itself. Burn 1,000. Now normally we would link these 2 off into another Gilgamesh, but we can actually avoid doing that. First we can activate Orthros' effect. Targeting 1 spell trap in the field. Mainly itself. And another DD, the King Tell, and I'm not going to respond. We're going to activate King Tell's effect to dump a Necro Slime. Now we can activate our King Rage, so we're safe there. Activate our Necro Slime, going to our first Genghis using itself, and the Copernicus, since it's dead in hand, we don't need it. I'm going to activate High King Genghis to bring back Griffin. I'm going to activate Griffin's effect, and Genghis effect. Genghis to bring back Caesar. And Griffin to search the Swirl Slime. Since we have another DD in hand, we can search our Swirl Slime and go into a second copy of Genghis. So now we are going to overlay those 2 into our High King Caesar, a very powerful good card. Definitely good to have. Going to link these 2 off into a second Gilgamesh. Our Wave King Caesar Engrave is going to activate. We're going to get the Eternal Darkness since that's good to have. Then we're going to use our Gilgamesh to go into our Machinex, set 2 cards face down, and end our turn there. That is an incredible board. So during the draw phase, we could have activated our Summon Limits. It's supposed to be opponent's draw phase, but whatever. And our Eternal Darkness. So if you want to Imperm me, you can't. If you want to Fusion Seeker Xyz, you can't. If you want to summon more than 2 times, you can't. Plus the Machinex, plus the High King Caesar, plus even if you manage to destroy my Gilgamesh or my Caesar, I still have recursion off of those. So yeah, this is a nutty deck. Definitely love it. Now I'm going to show you guys some of my replays. So in this duel, this guy is playing, I'm not exactly sure, I'm pretty sure it's Mech Knight, but I'm playing with my Copernicus, Orthros, Summon Limits, Patent License, and Puree. Let's see how this goes. First thing I'm going to Puree, he's going to Ash that immediately. So we're going to summon the Copernicus, dump Swirl Slime, summon the Orthros. Typical combo. Then we're going to go into our Marksman King Tell and burn 1,000. Typical combo once again. Link them off, dump the Typhon into the High King, and then there you go. Basic combo. Search our trap, activate, set 2, and that is a decent end board. Opponent's going to Kaiju us immediately, or we're going to Summon Limit and Eternal Darkness. We're going to then Pendulum Summon. Now this is kind of weird because I wasn't exactly able to go anywhere else with this. Pendulum summoned out the Necro Slime hoping they'd attack it, but there was none of that happening. So I attacked directly with the Necro Slime and Swirl Slime, leaving them at 200, and of course they concede the duel with only 200 life points left and a bricked hand. And this duel is actually a mirror match. We're playing against DDs. Now, I will point out one thing is that this DD player obviously doesn't know how to play DDs because he's playing Bystials for some reason. I don't quite understand why. But anyways, we're going to try our best to get the full combo here. Wasn't the most successful, but we were able to go into our anti-spell and our summon limit this turn, which is very, very good. Once again, standard combo to be able to play. It's unfortunate we had to link away that extra Machinax and set 2 and pass. So he's going to summon the Kepler, and we're going to immediately respond with our anti-spell and our summon limits. If our opponent can't do anything else, they concede. In this replay, we're going against Salamangrates, which is a deck that I'm not entirely familiar with, because I've never played it in real life, but I have played it online a few times. Of course, we're going into our standard combo as usual. This time we go full, bringing out everything, searching out the Swirl Slime. Going to all of our stuff and setting the cards face down with our Griffin in our hand and our Ash in our hand. So, of course, anti-spell. We were supposed to activate that during the draw phase, but he would have responded with it anyway since it's a quick play. And, of course, they concede since there's nothing else they can do. In this duel, we're going against rank 5 fish type. I'm not entirely sure what this deck does, but from the looks of it, it loses pretty hard to this version of DDs, like a lot of the other decks I played. Once again, usual combo, this time switching out the Orthros so we can use the Orthros effect after Gilgamesh resolves. And then go into our Siegfried. This is the first replay so far, showing Siegfried. There's a bit of setup required to even get Siegfried out compared to some of the other DDs. It's important to remember that. You may not always get Siegfried out, even with a really good hand. And with a great end board, we're going to pass there. Now, unfortunately, during the draw phase, I should have activated Eternal Darkness because I didn't find out that responding to Imperm with Eternal Darkness does not prevent Imperm from resolving. Since Imperm targets for cost, it will still resolve, even with Eternal Darkness activated in response. And yeah, rank 5 fish doesn't seem too crazy. Anyway, guys, this is DD's, my favorite deck of all time. If you want to see me do another deck that I have been playing, or if you want to see me do an updated version of this deck in a month's time or something like that, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.